with Midwife Cath again, and as a mum who has really struggled with breastfeeding, I thought we'd get her in to do a couple of breastfeeding tips. So Midwife Cath, what do you got? Lay it on me.
Great. Well, breastfeeding is completely natural.
Yeah, but it can be really hard.
It's really hard.
Yeah.
And I think that's the difficult thing, because I suppose society tells every woman that it's really easy. And not until you have the baby in your arms, you think, hang on a minute, I've heard it's easy.
Yeah.
Now, if you worked with me for one day, you would see how actually complicated it is.
Yeah.
Because every woman lactates differently.
Yeah.
Every breast lactates differently.
Yeah.
So you've got a different baby and you've got different mother and different breasts.
Yeah.
So it's going to have to be a bit complicated.
Oh my God.
And then you throw in the nipples.
Oh, seriously, I wish I could flash my ribs. This one's huge, this one's tiny, and my nipples are like it's ridiculous.
That's right.
I don't even recognise these things.
That's right. So some women have nipples this long. You know.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do. I've probably seen 20,000 nipples. It's not on my CV, but anyway, it's...
That's scary. But normal.
But you know what?
Normal.
Good for the baby.
Yeah,
you know,
great.
it's easy. Some women have, just average size nipples. Some women have actually inverted nipples.
No way.
So the actual nipple is right turned back inside into the breast. And that causes obviously a lot of problems, because the baby needs the nipple on top of the tongue to suck, to stimulate on top of the tongue to suck and swallow.
Right.
So it needs that. So that is why people will say the baby takes a bottle better than the breast if they've got having breastfeeding issues, because the teat's nice and long.
Right,
and it sits on the tongue, and so the baby sucks.
Right, okay.
So it's a lot's about the nipple.
Okay.
Yeah. So
because I think, I've got a couple of... I've had a lot of trouble breastfeeding my first son. I got mastitis 5 times. It was a hideous experience.
Yeah.
It evened out in the end. But with this baby, my new baby, I didn't mess with his feeding, so I found it a lot easier.
Yeah.
But it can be... There's so many different ways, and especially in the hospital, everyone seems to have a different idea on how to feed.
Yeah. So, look, there's some really basic things that are old-fashioned, or you could call me old-fashioned, but that's something that I know has proven to be right.
Okay.
I was taught by midwives who had been midwives for 30 or 40 years with a lot of experience. My mother had 8 children, so I'm the youngest of 8 children, so she taught me a lot.
Okay.
And I've also sat with a lot of women and just sat with them, with their baby, to understand about breastfeeding and what happens. So a few important things. Number 1, you need to wrap the baby.
Right.
So the baby has the primitive reflexes, and one of them is startling, that they get their arms everywhere. And it's important to have the baby wrapped so they're nice and calm. That's important.
And we have done another video with Cath on how to wrap your baby. It's called Cath's Wrap. Sorry, I'm doing it wrong. Cath's Wrap. So that's a great video for you to check out as well, on a different way to wrap a baby, which blew my mind. So baby's wrapped.
Baby's wrapped, and a lot of women get concerned because the baby falls asleep.
Yeah.
Now, then they worry because the baby doesn't sleep.
Yes.
Can you see that issue? That what's the issue?
Yeah.
It's okay if babies fall asleep wrapped because they will wake up. The other thing is that I like to hold the baby in a very natural position across the body, and then I use what I call the peace sign.
That looks rude what you're doing right now.
Sorry. So Cath's Wrap and the peace sign, and then hold the breast. And you know what? You just roll the baby towards you. The baby knows what to do. Another rude thing what the baby has is called the Ruching Reflex.
Right.
And it roots around to find the nipple, because they're primitively wired to live and not to starve.
Right, okay.
So it will look and look. So you don't actually need to force the baby onto the breast.
Right.
You actually need to let the baby go to the breast. It works.
And because I was taught to squeeze like a hamburger and pop
Yeah,
over.
that's right. Now, what happens when you do that? You've got the baby in the nipple in the mouth, and then you turn around, and then everything moves.
Moves, right.
If you start like this to start with, you have less pain. The baby attaches properly, they suck properly, and you feel better, and then you actually let down milk. Because breast production or milk production is a brain function.
So if you're more relaxed.
It happens.
Yeah, because at first times feeding, because it would hurt me so much, I'd be like, and I'd have
That's
to,
right.
I would physically get my partner Sam to go relax, so I would
relax your
remember.
shoulders.
Yeah.